What's up guys, I hope you're having a great day. My name is Michael and in this video I'm giving you my watertight investment strategy right now. Of course we already know market is very volatile right now. People are scared, people don't really know what to do. So right now more than ever it is very important to have a set investment strategy. It's always important, but right now it really comes to the eye where we see people struggling a lot with knowing what to do, and people are struggling a lot with keeping their sanity. I would say people don't really know what's happening, people don't really know what's going to happen, and that unknown factor is making people scared and emotional. And you've heard me say this before, and I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to continue to say this. It's always logic over emotions. You want to invest with logic over emotion. As soon as you get emotional, things are going to go very wrong for you very quickly. So as long as you stay logical, you have a logical approach to whatever it is that you're doing, you make adjustments wherever you need to, you're going to be totally fine. So we're looking at Bitcoin. Of course, we know Bitcoin recovered a little bit today. It found a little bit of a recovery support. It didn't break down. It didn't go towards that, below that 32 mark. And it has gone back up 8% over the last 24 hours. It did break here a little bit towards the 33. There could have been two things happening. It either went back down towards the 32 and potentially below, or as we've seen, it bounced back up, which is what happened, and the whole crypto market rose up a little bit again. Doesn't necessarily mean that we're out of trouble right now, because we know that there's a lot of things happening. So what do we do during times like this? Very simple. I have 4 points that I mainly focus on, not just right now, but in general, right? The IDOs and the Launchpads is what we do. It's a very good way to invest in good, solid projects early at the cheapest price possible. You get cheaper prices than everybody ever gets in the market because you're the first to invest. Right now, Launchpads are at a discount. Certain Launchpads that you weren't able to get in are very cheap. And Launchpads, you're going to be able to get in higher tiers right now that you weren't able to get in. So you get higher allocations. Sometimes you get private investment rounds, so you get better deals on them. So there's going to be a separate video on this later on. But I want to give you one of the examples in a second, which is Seedify. And you heard me talk about Seedify a lot lately, but Seedify has got all the positives that a Launchpad needs. The only one downside to it is that it's too expensive to get a high tier level and get high allocations. Right now, it's down. The price has dropped a lot. So we're able to get into Seedify at a lot cheaper rate and a higher tier where we weren't able to before, and we get higher allocations on those projects. But as I said, there's going to be a separate video on the best Launchpads to get in right now while they're cheap. And that video is coming either later on today or tomorrow. So if you want to stay up to date with that new video launching, make sure you do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. Apart from that, we have NFTs, right? And this is a whole different sector, a whole different ballpark right now. And that's kind of a whole different story than the crypto market itself. Why? Is because even though, and you've heard a lot of people say this has been a conversation that's not from right now. This has been a conversation that's been going on for a while already. But NFTs right now are rising, are going through the roof, and the sales are continuing to break records consistently over and over again, even though there's money floating out of the crypto market. People are selling, so there's less money in the crypto market. The overall market cap of crypto itself is down, but the overall sales on NFTs go up. So it's separating itself a little bit in that regard towards the crypto market. So how do we want to benefit from that? Well, obviously, we know that, as I just said, NFTs is hitting new all-time highs despite the crypto market. So we know that there's a lot of money going into the NFT market where we obviously want to benefit from. More and more money floating in means floor prices rising, new projects doing well, etc. So the ball is rolling. So we'll get to this in a second as well. But mainly what we need to understand is this, right? Data shows that OpenSea, which is of course NFT marketplace, the biggest one, has so far sold about 4.74 billion worth of NFTs this month. There's this amount of sales this month alone. That's insane. That's a lot of money floating into there. So already surpassing the previous sales record of 3.42 set in August. So what is important to understand here? That even though the market is going down, this is breaking records. The last record was here in August, and it's just blown it out of the water, really. So what does that mean? We're looking at crypto and it's like, oh, crypto is struggling, Bitcoin is down, crypto market is down, NFT market isn't. So again, that's what we can say. We can see a bit of a trend and a shift there where we know that the crypto market is up. crypto has nothing to do anymore in that regard with or the NFT market has nothing to do anymore with the crypto market in that regard. So we know that we can kind of focus on the NFT market as being in a massive, massive bull run right now, which is of course excited. Bored Ape Yacht Club, if we quickly look at OpenSea, Bored Ape Yacht Club hit a new all-time high of 93 Ethereum, and it's continued to break in records consistently time after time after time again. It was mentioned in Jimmy Fallon's TV show with Paris Hilton, who got a Bored Ape as well, and she talked about NFTs a little bit there, which is of course good exposure for not just this project, but again, whole crypto market overall. Mutant Apes that are following closely afterwards hit a 16.99, 17 floor price. So that's all very, very stable. You look at the total rank is there's other projects coming in right now. We talked about Azuki last week. Floor price was sitting at 2.3, 2.4 at the time. It's almost doubled when we last talked about it last week. So we can see a lot of projects that were around already, not even the newest one coming up, but that were around already, starting to take off massively. CryptoPunks continue to stay here, but doesn't have a floor price because nobody has listed it, right? So there's a lot of things happening in here. One thing I want to point out is this as well. Sandbox, of course, that you can buy land within Sandbox. Floor price at 3.5 Ethereum. For some people, that seems like a lot. For some people, it doesn't. To me, this is a steal. This is insane. Why? Is because eventually the land is going to run out in Sandbox and in Decentraland, and people will want to buy land and they will need land for the metaverse. So this is something to keep an eye on, because I think a lot of projects, they're going to need to buy land, and when there's a high level of need involved, then of course people are going to be willing to pay a lot of money for it. So NFTs overall, very massive market itself that we're going to focus on. Then you have the APR and the staking, which is very easy. So I've got this one here as an example for you guys. I tested it out because I didn't want to invest too much straight away. So I thought I'll get a feeling for it. I love LuxRare as a project. It's an NFT marketplace. It's trying to take on OpenSea a little bit. OpenSea is struggling with a lot of things, so they play into that at the perfect timing. When OpenSea is struggling, they come in and they start to offer people a lot better deals. You can buy NFTs here and you get rewarded for it. So sure, there's a fee involved. There's royalties that you pay towards the creator of the NFT, and there's just fee that goes towards LuxRare. But when you buy an NFT, even the seller, the buyer, even the buyer, so the buyer and the seller, they get rewarded in Lux, like they get tokens for buying and selling. So when you break it down, eventually the overall price that you've actually paid for, you can take a little bit of the price off because you get rewarded in tokens, which is definitely not the case with CeFi, with OpenSea, where fees are incredibly high. And then we've staked. So I staked a little bit. I didn't stake too much, but I want to stake a lot more. I want to put in a high number. And LuxRare is not the only project that offers similar systems like this, right? But I'm going to give you this example. Why? APR right now is sitting at 66.3%. You get rewards in Lux. You get rewards in Lux, and you get rewards in or in, let's say, Ethereum. In that regard, you can swap WETH. You can swap it for normal Ethereum, right? So you can see how high these rates actually are. So this is what it's done for me over the last 24 hours. I staked only 1,236 Lux, sitting at just below $4 right now. LuxRare, it's gone up again, so it's gone up quite a lot over the last 24 hours, which is good. So you actually gain, if you time it well, you gain on the overall increase from the price as well. But when we just look at the overall price, I staked like $4,500 roughly the price was $4,500, which gave me this amount of Lux. So far, in less than 24 hours, I've been able to earn myself $70 in Ethereum, and I've been able to earn 12 Lux, which is roughly, obviously 12 times, let's say $48, $45. So I've earned $110 in just staking this for 24 hours, and that's only staked like $4,500. So I wanted to test it out, see whether it actually worked like that or not. It says it has an automatic compounding effect in there as well, so you get more Lux as a reward for staking your Lux. Whether that exactly works this way, yes or no, I'm gonna find out, because what you can do is, of course, you can collect your earned tokens as well, and then you can restake it, and then that's properly using the compound effect, because the more you stake, the more rewards you get, right? I want to put in an additional roughly $20,000 and see how that actually works out and goes. Why do I think this is a good decision? So we're gonna put that one here as an example, right? Looks rare. Why do I think that's a good decision? Well, it's been holding pretty strong overall when the whole market dropped. This looks kind of scary, of course. It went from $7 all the way down to like $3.50 roughly, which is like a 50% decrease. But it's been holding overall pretty stable where it rose up a lot. The whole market started dropping around here already. So you saw Luxray continue to rise. Why? Is because just people actually started trying using it aside from OpenSea to see whether it worked better or not. The fees were lower, so people continue to go back there. People are talking about it on Twitter, on social medias. They're trying it, and people stake it because they say that it's been, I hear people say it's been one of the best investments they've made in 2022 so far, because first of all, it went up in overall price, and second of all, the staking rewards are insane. You have other projects where you can stake it and you get high staking rewards, right? One of the examples I wanted to give is Chumbi Valley. So there's other projects that get staking rewards, but the cool thing with this is you can take it out whenever you want to, and with other projects you're locked. So Chumbi Valley is a project that we talk about a lot as well. When we talk about Chumbi Valley, it's a awesome project that has a lot of potential as a crypto game, but one thing that they've definitely missed here is with the staking. They made an announcement where you had a minimum staking reward of 100% APR, 150 and 200 here, right? But it started very, very, very high, and that's where you could see the potential of a high APR rate. It started at like 15 to 20,000%. Why? Is because they had an X amount of tokens available for the staking, and if not that many tokens were met within the staking contract yet, APR was high. If all the tokens were staked from the total amount possible to be staked, that would hit the minimum in APR of 100, 150, and 200%. When that minimum wasn't met, it just continued to give you like a 15,000% APR, which was awesome. Then you look at the results. I again staked a little bit. I wanted to see what it was like, which was like $4,700 at the time, which was sitting at 10 cents. It dropped, of course, a little bit now, but at the time of investing, that wasn't the amount. I staked it for 6 months. Never staked anything before. I just wanted to see, I wanted to get a feel for it. So I dropped a little bit of money in there just to see how that went. At the high APR rating, I doubled my tokens in a matter of, like 1.5 days roughly. A little bit more in 2 days. I doubled my tokens instantly because the APR was so high. So you can imagine after 6 months, if that continued to go like that, I would have been able to claim hundreds of thousands of tokens here that I then will be able to take out again. They changed it. They made a mistake there. They saw that not enough people were staking, so the APR stayed high. So the people that did stake would get way too many tokens that they, again, would obviously drop when it gets released. So they changed it up. They lowered the APR quickly, which is sitting at this now, and it's now not moving anymore. What does this mean? Well, if I would have known that beforehand, I wouldn't have done it, because your tokens are locked for that long. So I want to give an example of, this is not worth the time that your investment is locked. Your money is better off being used somewhere else for this matter of time. It's not going to be worth this APR. So in that way, it's a failed process. I guess it was a good trial to see how that works. Now I know I would never ever stake any money for this long of a period, because you want to use it. Money needs to float, money needs to move, unless APR does stay at like 15,000%. So that's, long story short, is the massive positive about staking with LuxRare. Even if the price drops a little bit, it's fine, because APR is so high and you can take it out whenever you want to. You can take out your staked compound or your earned money. You can take it out whenever you want to, and easily use that staked money, stake rewards for whatever. And if you want to use the money, just take it out, use it, and if you want to get back in later on, you get back in. So this is an example. There's other projects out there as well, but I'm really a big fan of LuxRare when it comes down to the APR and the staking, which is an easy way to continue getting returns even when market goes down. So when market goes down, I'm fine with it. I'm just accumulating tokens here. I'm just accumulating coins, and I'll just wait for the recovery. Eventually the market will go up again, and I'm fine with a little bit of a dip. I'll just get more and more tokens, so that when the market does go back up again, I'm ready and I have more tokens to be able to enjoy the lift up with, right? And then you have crypto gaming, which is my longer term place. I am heavily invested, or I'm going to be heavily invested within the crypto gaming. We did a video on it the other day. my top three crypto gaming coins right now. If you haven't seen a video, make sure you watch it. It has a lot of valuable information in there, and it still applies right now, even though we're a couple of days further ahead already. I gave my top three with one bonus coin in there. This is one of them. I'll give you an example, CryoWar. I'm a big fan of the whole CryoWar project. I participated in the Seedify launch or the IDO of it all the way at the start. I had massive returns on it. I get my tokens every month from Seedify, from the IDO, but I don't really sell them. I hold them because I think this project has a lot of potential. So again, this one dropped that back down quite a lot. Awesome entry point, right? It might go down a little bit more depending on what the market is going to do over the next couple of days and weeks, but then I would just buy in more. I'm accumulating crypto token, crypto gaming coins. I'm accumulating them a lot. Every 20% drop, I'll buy in more and more and more. If Bitcoin eventually drops to like 20,000 over in like a couple of weeks time from now, whatever may happen, I'm buying more and more and more tokens within the crypto gaming, because I know that that's inevitable over the next couple of months and years, that that's gonna take off and do very well. Nothing that I say is financial advice though. So we want to know what's going to happen with the market a little bit and adjust our strategy. Well, to be honest, I don't want to adjust my strategy. That's the whole point of this video, letting you guys know that if you have a solid strategy there already, you don't have to adjust anything. Sure, sometimes you need to play along with what is happening in the market and you need to know whether you should invest or not. But as long as your solid strategy is in place, you should be fine. What can we expect though? Well, I'm not going to pretend here and act like I know exactly what's going to happen, but you kind of want to stay up to date with the things that are going on, right? So right now the US stock futures drop as wild volatility. I can never pronounce it. Market going up and down a lot. Volatility, it's volatile. Let's just say it's volatile. Hits markets ahead of Fed meeting, while Bitcoin attempts a recovery. So what are the main takeaways? What do we need to know? What's very important? Well, of course, the Fed meeting is happening later on today. They're going to come up with the results of it tomorrow. Why is that important? Because everybody expects them to raise the interest rates by a lot. And that's going to start in March. They're going to do that 4 times this year. Why is that important? Well, they're trying to prevent more and more inflation from happening. But by doing that, they think that's going to slow down the economy, which then makes people stop investing as much, makes people afraid a little bit more, save more money, and therefore the market goes down. We look at the fear index, fear and greed index right now. There's a high level of fear, a lot of fear, meaning people aren't investing as much, people taking the money out, people are selling. The overall sentiment on the market is right now people in a lot of fear, meaning that it's, for me, I always look at it, this is an investment opportunity because people are selling and the prices are low, and this is a moment when it's here, it's a moment to take profit. Again, same strategy, I hold to the same strategy every single time, and it works for me perfectly fine so far. This is selling time because this is when the market is up and I take my profits, and this is investment time. Again, I'm not going to say that we're at the bottom already, because if the meeting comes tomorrow and they raise the interest rates and they come up with some crazy announcement that people didn't expect, we could definitely expect things to plummet even more. Apart from that, of course, people are worried about Russia invading Ukraine, which is a war, which is always something that's scary a little bit. Then you have Tesla and Apple. They come with their results, the result report for the quarterly result report from last year, which is 2 of the biggest companies out there. The results are usually a very good indicator of, or not an indicator, it's going to state how people will react to it. Good results, also people get excited, people are, again, going to be confident to invest, and bad results are people going to take a step back a little bit. Massive companies that affect the whole market, which affect the stock market and crypto as well. So those are the main important takeaways that we want to look at right now. So what does that mean? Well, it's fine investing right now. It's fine looking at what do you want to invest in. Crypto gaming coins for me are something like a no-brainer. I would just get in. If this drops 20%, I'll buy more. If it drops another 20%, I'll buy more. Overall, in the longer term, to me, it's a guarantee. Personal, to me, it's a guarantee that the market is going to go up, especially crypto gaming. So this is just awesome buying opportunities. As for the Launchpads, similar story, right? I was going to give you one example, but again, there's going to be a separate video on this later on, more detailed. Seedify, to be able to get into tier 2 right now, which gives you guaranteed allocation, is 1,000 tokens. So right now, to be able to get in is $5,800. Still a lot of money for a lot of people, but not too long ago, that was 13, 14, 15,000. Where this might be for some people a good entry point and cheap entry point, for others, this is now doable, right? Whereas a little while back when it was sitting at, well, it's been higher than that. Here it was sitting at $16, which means a $16,000 entry, which was for a lot of people impossible, not doable. It might be doable now again. Plus with Seedify, it's again gaming project, gaming focused. You know that eventually it's gonna go back to that all-time high again, and it's gonna continue to do, continue to do well and develop. For our bigger fish in the market, you want to get into tier 6, which gives private allocation as well to project, and massive allocation to the normal IDOs. That is 10,000 tokens, which is going to cost you $58,000 now. Before, there was over $500,000, which was $150,000, which was impossible. You want to get in the highest tier right now, well, that's going to be $580,000 at the moment, which was like 1.3 million, which was kind of out of the question. So you want to know a little bit more about what Launchpads to get into as an entry point, definitely watch the next video coming up. Apart from that, there's so many NFT projects out there that right now that we want to focus on. We kind of want to know what we need to do, what we need to play into, and what we need to focus on with NFT. So there's going to be a separate video on this as well. As for the staking, I'm a big fan of LuxRare, but there's other projects out there that you can look at. And then of course the crypto gaming. What do you need to do to develop a certain strategy for yourself? It's very simple. How do you want to make your money? For me, this makes sense because this is going to accumulate me coins for projects to come over time, longer term. Same thing here. I can just leave this and it's accumulating me tokens from LuxRare over time. So whether the market goes down or up, doesn't really matter. NFTs is a whole different market right now. So we're not looking at it as it's in a bear market, it's going down. This is actually in a bull market, and it's probably going to continue like that for a long time. And this is my baby, this is my sweet spot. This is what I think is this is what's gonna make people millionaires over time, right? You wanna find your sector, you wanna find whatever works for you, whatever resonates with you and what you're interested in and what you wanna do research in a lot, so that you wanna be able to stay up to date, and you wanna have knowledge. Knowledge is key, right? So this is where I have most of my knowledge in. Why? Is because where I read in the most about this topic itself. So that is my current strategy, guys, and how I still continue to make money even though the market is dropping down. I'm very comfortable even though the market is going down a little bit now. And if market does go up, I'm ready to take profit again and benefit from the rise of Bitcoin and the whole crypto market after that again. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you could hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you do get updated on all these next detailed videos, I would appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.